And now, your official TigerBait live show with Mike Scarborough and Buddy Songy starts now.
All right, everyone, welcome in. A big show of TigerBait Live tonight. Mike Scarborough here, of course, with my sidekick, Buddy Songy. Got a lot to discuss. Didn't have a show last week. Had a little bit of a what I thought was a crisis that wasn't one. All's well. Thanks to Preston for filling in. And he had a really good show last week. He had a really good show last night. I think we have a good one for you tonight. And, of course, LSU's out there waiting on a big one right now. And as you can see from the title of the show, Jordan Seaton is on the clock. Offensive lineman in the portal from Colorado, LSU, Oregon. And it's been nonstop phone calls, phone ringing, what you're hearing for 2 to 3 days. And it just seems to be a lull. We're going to talk about that a lot more. And come in, buddy.
Good to see you, Mike Scarborough, with TigerBait, doing it the right way for many, many years. Of course, I am his sidekick and really happy. You know, it does seem like because we missed last week, it's been a while since we're here to talk about it. And once again, our corporate sponsor and main sponsor of this show, Pride Roofing. Folks, you're going to have some pride coming back into your living rooms, the Tiger Stadiums, and all the road trips, because now it has been rebuilt. It has been replenished. And it is interesting. You and I talking about how many portal guys, 25, 30, maybe 35, 41 at this count, waiting on the big left tackle. Obviously, a lot of people thought it was signed, sealed, and delivered. Had Stevie Wonder queued up. Hasn't happened. Oregon back in it. Is he a must-have? Oh, yes, if you want to compete in the playoffs and be a factor next year. But if he's not here, they've done a great job. Mike, a lot of people freaking out. I tell people very often, take your blood pressure pills in the morning, take your patience pills in the afternoon. 3 outstanding quarterbacks, 4 additional running backs, 13 receivers, 12 of which are new, 5 tight ends now. Can't wait to see Trevez Green and his utilization. And so revamping of the offense, all the coaches are here.
42 transfer portal.
Yeah.
16 high school.
Yeah.
So 57 or 58
new players.
New players. That's crazy. Right. And look, you and I talked about it, and you can't stand with this early, but dude, I'm sorry, it's just how I'm wired. Okay.
You're thinking 10-2.
No. But my media buddies are all already in the 10-2 and are like, okay. There's no doubt it is not what Lane Kiffin is doing right now, okay? And we're just not saying this and selling a product and selling you some line of propaganda. If you can't buy in based on the effort and what they're doing in the portal, then there's no helping you. This is staggering what you're seeing right now. And they were prepared. Lane Kiffin and what he's doing personally as the head coach, it's night and day compared to what last regime and the head of that regime. When this guy's jumping on planes just so he can spend an additional 2 hours with a transfer portal player. The last guy would have been, what? I got a tea time.
I give you props on this because you saw through the facade. I wanted BK and gave him a dozen golf balls and didn't realize he was going to use them that afternoon.
You're buying him golf balls. He's wearing a $32,000 Rolex to the press conference.
But with that being said, it is a very exciting time to be a Tiger fan. Oh, by the way, men's basketball lose last night. Women play again tomorrow night at 8 a.m. Late night, 8 o'clock, and they're 3-2 in the conference. Baseball media day on Friday. Jay Johnson and baseball team loaded again. Incredible depth of pitching and position players. People that they keep out the lineup. Gotta wait to see Courier and his status as far as his injury come back. He'll play center this year. Stanfield, Jake Brown, and others. But and then of course gymnastics stumbled a little bit of Georgia. They're still 4 in the country. And Beth Serena having media day next week as the softball once again.
They get a meeting.
Yeah, I hadn't been to softball media day in a long time, but back to this football hall. Everybody knows how detailed we get with practice reports and all. I used to spit out these 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 10, 12, all these wide receivers. We have no idea what the numbers are going to be like, but no idea what they look like. That's going to be exciting for all of us.
Well, the thing about it is I'm all about last year, and in all our practice reports, and we don't know if we're going to get any access. I don't know what our access is going to be, but it's some people you guys can just do practice reports and pick it up because you had him going this record, you had Bauer Sharp doing this and that. The practice reports might be just as accurate, but it's going to be. Let's say we do get the normal 3 to 4 periods that we've gotten through 4 head football coaches. We're going to take a while to learn that roster with all these new numbers and new faces, and all-season programs are going to be so important. We've got this many new players. Let's
chop it up, fellas.
Yeah, we got a lot of people in here. You guys hit the like button if you're enjoying the show, and thanks to all of you. Like Fire says, hit the like button. Please do that. It helps us with the algorithm. Brian Penn right off the bat with a super chat. Good evening, buddy. Do you think that man will get fired during the snow? He won't. It'll be after. And if he doesn't make a turn, look. Apathy was not bad. Maybe there would be a 20% chance he could survive, but when the apathy is this bad, and I get photos every home game, 10 minutes before tip-off, 20 minutes before tip-off, 10 minutes in the first quarter, and it looks like a ball crowd in that arena. I mean, you just can't survive that type of apathy. When we load up Matt McMahon's press conferences, and Jay Clark's pressers get the same. Good for Jay Clark, but that shouldn't be happening. Basketball is your number 2 revenue sport. I don't know how he survives. And we all like Matt McMahon, but he's had bad luck. He's had more than his share of bad luck, and I hate it for him. Verge Albury's done 2 interviews in the last 2. Really good Jacques talk that Jacques did as well. And it's NCAA tournament.
Yeah, our best.
Yeah, there's no need to fire before the season is over.
They gave them appreciably more money with the NIL, and I just don't see it come to fruition. Of course, A.J. Thomas is back on the court. He came back last night, and obviously rusty, but too bad.
If he had a Stromae Swift or a Chris Jackson or a Shaquille O'Neal, and he had a recruiting class on the way that was something like that, he just had a run of bad luck, and you owed him $7.44 million, but you still had 6,000 or 7,000 actual in the stands, maybe.
Well, the first problem they had was they played Carolina a couple of weeks ago, and it was 50-25 at halftime. And if you remember, when I texted after that game, and people were there saying this is a Texas A&M football game, it was that bad. But then they get up on Kentucky 18, and unfortunately didn't make the plays. And then, as everybody knows, lunging for the basketball instead of standing behind, kind of a Christian Laettner shot to beat him. They did come back and beat Missouri. Mike, you know, about it. 4, 5 wins, not going to get you done. It does look like the end is near, and nobody likes it, but it's the reality of it.
That was bad cutting in and out. I don't know what that would be, folks.
Could be my fault. I had that problem today on the radio.
Hold on 1 second. I'm going to do these in and out. Hold on.
All right.
All right. Does that help?
Okay. Let's see how it works from here.
How's that?
Been a crazy technical day.
You guys quickly let me know how that sounds. Unplugged and plugged in XLRs. I tested it before we went live. It seemed okay. Now it says perfect.
Okay, here we go.
All right, guys. Thank you. All right. Yeah, all I had to do was unplug the XLR.
But we're here to talk more than just men's basketball. Unfortunately, it's not a pleasant subject, and you guys could and ladies control the show, but I think everybody knows what's going to happen here in a couple months.
Yeah, Fire 3449 says, let me get it. Man, what is up with this? Mike, the loss of Jalen Reed is equivalent to the loss of Garrett Nussmeier. You can't blame Matt all the way. I can't, but I just think the apathy is so bad with the fan base that no one believes that Matt McMahon can pull it out and be a guy that gets you to the NCAA tournament, whether it's a year from now, 2 or 3 years from now.
And it's year 4. You have to make that. And I know he started off and it was a tough go, but look, I think everybody's given. And now, if they would win 4 or 5 in a row and do something in the FCC tournament, get in the big dance, he'd save himself. Right now, I don't see it. Yeah, it is bad luck. Jalen Reed worked his tail off.
I hate it.
I hate it for that kid.
Yeah, I hate it for Matt McMahon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Todd Davis, you can't blow an 18-point lead.
No.
Count the Money says Preston sabotaged the show. Yeah. Mark Smokey, who does Verge go after? Wade? Wade is the guy. Everybody's saying audio is still bad. I don't get it. Should be fine, everybody.
Yeah. Look, when you have days like this, sometimes it follows you around. Look, back to Wade Rouge, who is now the new president, of course, is the one who hired Will Wade at McNeese. And so there is some dot connection there. But once again, we'll see how that works out. Some people don't think Will Wade's happy with the NIL contribution that NC State's given him, maybe not as much as they promised. But again, we'll see. You got a better relationship with him than I do. But if you bring back Will Wade to basketball now, you're talking about stellar with your coaches across the field.
I texted Coach Wade a couple of weeks ago, and I jokingly said, if you saw them, or they called it a meltdown, but he got after a media member, and he said, "Boy, that's a dumb question," and went after him. And I texted him, and I said, "Well, I'll be glad to ask you if you come back. I'd be glad to ask you dumb questions just to get those kind of views on YouTube." And yeah,
He did get a little spicy, there's no doubt.
All right, everybody, let's hear from Mike and Alex over at Pride Roofing.
Hi, I'm Michael with Pride Roofing.
I'm Little Alex.
Have you been affected by wind, hail, and tornadoes on the North Shore? Well, we're here to help.
Insurance claim, no problem.
We also have a new franchise location in New Orleans.
We don't build projects, we build memories.
Though you know Pride Roofing is the official roofer of TigerBait.com.
In fact, notify TigerBait and we'll give you a free roof inspection. And on top of that, you get a free year subscription. Remember to call us at 855-PRIDE-16.
There it is, 855-PRIDE-16. Say TigerBait when you give them a call to get your free roof inspection. And they're going to pay for it to have TigerBait Premium free for a year. That's a $99 value. You can't beat it. Commercial or residential roofs, great with metal roofing, real popular and growing. And again, main location in Hammond, owned and operated by Mike and Alex. Mike, of course, of Baltimore, Ohio, grad known my entire life. Super people, licensed, bonded, insured. Location here in Baton Rouge, big in Madisonville, Mandeville, Covington, Slidell, all in the North Shore, New Orleans, home in Thibodeau. Anywhere in Louisiana, they got you covered. And give them an opportunity. If you've got another roofing company's bid on letterhead, they will beat it by $150. And I told the story a couple of months ago. We had to get a new roof on our house that we sold, and we got hit blindsided by a roof that was only 7 years old being defective. We had to put a whole new roof on, and the buyers did a competing company.
Yeah.
Called Mike, didn't tell me what that bid was because I want to see what it did. Came in $2,500 less, and the quality of the shingles and the roof were 2 grades higher.
Yeah.
So that's why you want to give Pride Roofing an opportunity.
Hey, every time we talk about them, folks, we talk about what experience. Many of you have business with them. 1-855 Pride 16. Don't forget, always a free roofing inspection and metal roofs with the acquisition of Crown Metal. They have really changed the metal roofing business. So get on over and give Mike a call. He personally works every Baton Rouge call. Of course, Alex Martinez, Mike Faraday, great owners at Pride Roofing. 5 Pride 16.
How's that sound? Is that better? How's that audio now? Let me know. Says Mike is having issues picking up Mike. I'm not understanding, but I tell you what, hold on one second. I'm gonna go back out. Stay right here. I'm gonna back out and come right back. I want to check something. All right, guys, let me know now. Is that better?
Yeah, I can tell it's better right there. That fixed it.
You could tell.
No, I'm watching the meter. I watched them earlier.
All right.
How's a little more consistent?
Is that better? All right.
Hey, folks, it's been 2 weeks. Give us a break. We're kind of coming out with a slow start. By the way, Indiana, first time ever winning it, taking down Miami. Who would have thought? Who would have thought before the season Indiana and Miami would end in the final? Of course, they had a chance to win it on a home field. Excellent football. I'm always sad when college football ends. Man, this portal. I don't think we need to stress to people like Mike, you mentioned on the radio show today. You're not going to get 40 new players every year. Ladies, this is like if you could go shopping for a whole month of December, and instead of having 5 new persons and all the other stuff that they pick up, you got 25 gifts. I mean, 41 waiting on Seaton. We'll try to give you updates on that. A lot of rumors and innuendos. We know it's big money. We know Oregon's in it, but what a fantastic job. And look, if the 18 last year were classified as the #1 portal class, you know when this one's done, this is going to be ballyhooed and talked about, but you still got to line up, find your niche, get that chemistry, leadership. By the way, 2 players coming back we need to mention. Whit Weeks, I thought, was incredibly important for Lane Kiffin to get him back, his leadership. And Caden Durham, a real nice surprise, getting him out the portal to come back. That young man's a hell of a running back when he's not hurt. And Harlan Berry, in case you haven't seen, he's been lifting with Mike, and he looks fantastic. So a lot of things to be positive about going into the season.
I think I figured out what was causing the audio problem. I had a browser open, a tab open with the show on, and I think that was messing it up.
You like my buddy PFM?
That's what happens when we skip a week.
Yeah,
I get rusty that quick. All right, let's see.
Well, we'll go an extra hour just for that.
Yeah, right. Stephen Trahan says, buddy, I can remember when the only recruiting info I got was getting home from high school and calling into the Advocates hotline and hearing you recap the recruits.
Unbelievable that you can remember, Stephen.
Was that 900 numbers back then?
Yes, it was not, but that was a free thing on the Advocate, and I would do a recruiting update 7 or 8 minutes, and my boy Ty Whitley was over at the Advocate, and we hooked it up for a while. Of course, it goes back to the old days, Mike, when I bet 30 and 40 years ago, you would literally call in and spend money to get a score. Now they're everywhere.
That was a few years before I got started, and I knew all the guys that did the 900 numbers before I got started in recruiting. And the money that those guys made.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
It was $4.99 a minute or $5.99 a minute.
It's crazy.
And they would run you through the whole menu. And you never knew what they changed the menu up on you. So by the time they got to push K for LSU, you'd already spent about $8-10.
Well, it was free with the Advocate, and I appreciate you remembering that, Stephen. But look, we're still hanging in there, and the business has changed a bunch, and it's great to hook up with Mike and the people over here at TigerBait. We're still trying to give you a bunch of information. And look, we saw the living hell of watching that offense this year. How cool is that going to be, Mike? By the way, people asked me to ask you today, and I couldn't because of the problem we had on the phone. Are you considering going to Ole Miss in week 3?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
That's going to be a circus.
You going to bring a bulletproof vest or bodyguard or just muscles?
No, I'm just going to keep my head down and make a wide berth on entering and exiting the stadium.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that as we get closer, but exciting time.
The media for that one is going to be off the chain.
Oh, yeah. They're going to have extra security.
And I don't care what the record is of both teams.
Well, it's only
and I haven't even looked to see what are the other games on that day.
Yeah.
But what are the odds that game days there that day?
I don't know about game day, but it's going to be talked about for a long time.
Brad David, Mike, do you and Buddy want the playoff to expand to 16 or 24 or stay at 12? You're asking the wrong guy because I want it to go back to the original BCS, but
yeah,
that's me. I think they always got it right. I'm fine with it. But you know what? That was one. Did you listen to Verge?
I did not
talking about how the last 3 national champions did not play a Power 4 team non-conference, and now they're rethinking it.
Yeah, sure.
And because that's going to be a criteria in the SEC, and he wants to bring it up at the SEC meeting. Do you schedule any of these games like Clemson Open going further when the last 3 national champions did not play a Power 4 team out of conference play?
Yeah, I think the games with Clemson and those type of openers are going to go bye-bye because now you're going to 9 conference games. And here's the problem. Sankey wants to go to 16 for 2026 CFP, but Petiti wants to go back 2 years later and get it to 24. I don't want to minimize the regular season and go to 24. I think 24 is too many. We saw this year 16 would have worked perfectly if you add Notre Dame, Texas, and Vandy and one more. But the power
there's always going to be the next guy, no matter how many you add, that's going to feel like they got screwed.
But the group of 5 does not need a place when you start talking about the best teams.
And then there's the whole thing about the teams that got buys and how well most of them performed.
1-7 the last 2 years on those the teams that got by. Ole Miss was obviously did great things, but look. SEC 3 years in a row. Mike, I think there are a lot of explanations. We'll get into it later in the show.
Hughes 7802. Hey, Mike and Buddy, this fan will go mad if intel's lacking during the season. Coach Kiffin ain't much on exposing his practices. He doesn't need to expose his practice. We were I remember like it was yesterday going out to Coach Saban. We got 3 or 4 periods like we normally do. And most of our 3 or 4 periods was watching the guys sitting Indian style stretching and Coach Saban walking between the guys and telling his corny jokes.
All right.
That was the best stuff. If that's all we got, that's fine.
All right.
That gives you enough to have some footage. It gives us enough to say, hey, man, so-and-so looks good or so-and-so got his knee brace off, whatever. And then we go home. And it gives the TV station something to show as a backdrop. LSU back at practice today, and then they have some footage. They don't need to let us in there for full scrimmages like BK did. We're not. That's not necessary. We were shocked to get that. But I hope he gives us something.
When in Rome, do as the Romans, right? This fan base has an insatiable appetite for everything LSU. I don't care if it's the third guard, it's the deep snapper, it's the punt returner. And so you saw him a little different in his original press conference. By the way, the breakfast deal yesterday, Mike's got it up on the site, gives you a little insight. I think
courtesy of WFB.
Courtesy of WFB, but I think he's getting more comfortable in his skin. Can you imagine the enormity what just happened, folks? You had a man that was coaching the team that was going in the playoffs. He ended up having to sign a deal and be the coach of November 30th. Had the press conference, had signing day the following Wednesday, had the pressure on Monday, had signing day 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, throwing the other guys back and forth from Oxford. And then there they are with the portal. My point is, how do you recruit LSU when you've only been here 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days? He said on the breakfast thing, they bring these recruits out to Tiger Stadium, turn the lights on. Nobody's in there but the recruits and their families. And it's like this coliseum where it just grips you. And I know everybody's talking about it. It's just different, but it is. And that's not good enough. Seaton had to love that, but you still have to pay the top dollar. But my point of it is that can you imagine what this man has done since November 30th? And then to pile in, I've got people blowing my phone up about quarterbacks, offensive linemen, all that. Tell me what box hadn't been checked yet. Just tell me.
Nothing. And I can tell you that
What? You're not going to say 8-4 tonight?
no.
Okay.
No. Maybe in August.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
But back to the question, what I'm getting to is we connect the dots. I hope he understands much more media. And this, look, I don't care what you say about Louisiana, LSU, or whatever. The media covers LSU, the Saints, Tulane, Southern, like nowhere else. And so with more media, with more fan base, with more interaction.
Look, if he just says, if he says all y'all can film is them doing jumping jacks and you're getting booted out the fence, I'll be there. Okay.
So let's hope we have more time.
You bring it up. We put a poll on the front page of TigerBait yesterday and early results. I said the question was the TigerBait poll, your early predictions for the LSU football team's 2026 regular season record. 6% say 12-0. 24% say 11-1. The largest number at 39%. So 40% of the respondents say 10-2. Whew. 22% are at 9-3. 9% are at 8-4.
Oh, there you go. There's some Scarboroughs. Look, I would just say this real quick because I pretty much memorized the schedule. Clemson, the opening night that Lane Kiffin in Tiger Stadium, I do think it will be a scalper's market. I think it'll be a ticket. You won't have a lot of tickets to be sold for that one. Everybody's going to want to go to that. And who knows how good Dabo and them are going to be.
I'm giving LSU a win right now.
I'm going to give LSU a W and be a slight point spread favorite there, maybe 4 to 5 points. Of course, Louisiana Tech, no disrespect to them, but that should be a W. Traveling to Ole Miss, we'll see what time it is.
And we'll see if Chambliss gets it.
And then, we'll see what Chambliss does. I think they will beat the NCAA.
Admit that will be a tough game.
Yeah, well, I like LSU to beat Ole Miss. I'm going to say right now. Lane Kiffin is going to put 40 or more on Ole Miss. I'm telling you now. Oh, yeah. He is going to rub it in. You think it's bad now. Wait till you get into that game in the fourth quarter when they're throwing passes and scoring.
I'm about to do a Carter Bryant on you and sink down in my chair like you did on Preston.
I'm just going to tell you. They're going to – but here's the kicker. You got to beat Texas A&M the next weekend in Tiger Stadium after that emotional game. So the first 5 games, you've got 3 toughies, Clemson, Ole Miss, and A&M. In the middle, 3 cupcakes, no disrespect to Auburn, Mississippi State, and Kentucky. And then I think Texas will be better than Alabama next year. I really do. I think Texas is going to be a tough team to beat here. And then finish
road games at Tennessee, Kentucky, Auburn.
If you don't beat Kentucky and Auburn, come on. Sorry. Will Stein's a new coach at Kentucky. He can't snap a finger and beat LSU if this talent that is on paper is developed as a team with chemistry and all the things that they have.
Lane Kiffin is a great coach, okay?
Yeah, but he's never won a championship.
He came in here and lost to an LSU team in overtime that he had no business losing that game.
Well, he hadn't beaten LSU as the Ole Miss coach in Baton Rouge. Lost 3 games in Tiger Stadium.
Almost 60 new players with that schedule.
Yeah.
That's a tough schedule.
They're going to beat Ole Miss's ass. I'll tell you that right now.
All right.
Sorry, Rebels.
All right.
Don't be traveling and speeding in the state of Mississippi, folks. If it's a Louisiana license plate, it will probably be whoop, whoop, whoop ticket.
Yeah.
Sorry, Colonel Rep.
Chris Phillips says the 8-4 votes are from salty Ole Miss fans. I think a lot of LSU fans are going 10-2 already. That's scary, buddy. You got to admit that's scary.
Do we know the health of Sam Levitt going into?
We don't know what it is right now.
Okay, so we don't know that, but it got 2 other good
and I'm not making a prediction right now.
No, what? You're not?
I'm just saying.
Okay,
folks,
I like
look,
it.
Look, let's say, and I've had this discussion with several media guys, including Buddy this morning. Let's say we seed it right now and grant you let's say this is the best LSU roster in 5 years.
Okay.
And then you go line by line of that schedule. And you tell me how, and you will immediately see, seriously, if you're honest with yourself and whether you want to poo-poo every team, how hard it is to get to 9-3. It's just, I mean, it's a difficult schedule.
Well, and you do have the additional conference game this year. So
Right.
you have 9 conference games, 5 on the road, as we both predicted. SEC was going to bend LSU
My
over
point is,
that
if they
first
go
year.
8-4, that doesn't mean Lane Kiffin can't coach.
Well,
That schedule is brutal.
the schedule on paper is brutal. We never know how hard it really is. You think Alabama's going to be great next year? I don't know.
They haven't been great, but they seem to be great when they play LSU with that week off. That's one thing he seems to do well.
And that's one of the benefits of hiring Lane Kiffin, because he's going to teach Blake Baker how to defend the quarterback run-pass option.
Yep. I clap. First time in years we ain't got a wide receiver with a heavy reputation. They got a lot of numbers there. Someone's gonna elevate.
By the way, Nick Anderson and all the other guys, only one wide receiver was retained, Philip Wright III. He's number 15. He redshirted. He is about 6 foot 170 plus, but really can fly. And Winnie Watkins and all those other guys, I just can't wait to see them dink and dunk, throw it in space, bubble, utilize Harlan Berry, Durham, all that in the passing game, and trade Des Green. I promise you, I will go crazy if they get Trey Des Green hurt blocking like last year's guys did.
Yep.
Crazy. Still mad about that.
Carl the Cat, no wonder we're getting an ice storm this weekend. Mike is not giving a prediction.
Cat.
Yeah. Mitch says we need to be realistic about next year. A lot has to come together to go 10-2 or better. A whole lot.
Sure.
And but I will say this: whatever the record is, I think it's going to be a fun ride. I think it's absolutely going to be a fun ride.
All right, let me ask you real quick. Okay, on paper, right now, just on paper, you better at quarterback this year at 26, LSU.
Oh yeah.
Better at offensive line.
The pieces are there, but I think it's going to take time. It's going to be a work in progress.
Better at running back.
Yes.
Better at wide receiver.
Don't know that.
Well, you got new ones, and the ones that performed, unfortunately. Chris Hilton didn't score a touchdown. Aaron Anderson, Barry Brown. My point is
I think on paper you might like last year's group better, but they didn't have a quarterback.
No, I don't. They didn't make the plays. I didn't see any making plays.
Yeah.
So my point of it is that I do think you're going to say there's more depth, there's more speed, and here's the thing that I've been hell-bent on. Nick Savage, baby, you got to bring it.
He is. I'm telling you.
Because LSU has
already.
had a corporate sponsorship secretly the last 4 years from Sharman. They've been soft. I'm just being real.
It ain't going to be happening anymore, I can tell you that.
They've been soft.
It's already night and day in a few
So
weeks.
cut the crap with the finesse. Get some guys that throw people around like an empty Coke can. It's time to get physical. That's where you win in the SEC. I want to see what Coach Savage and his team can do to shape those bodies and get that physicality back like LSU had in their heyday.
All right. Need to talk about Baye's Oyster Bar. You see it up on the screen right now. You got to get down to North Boulevard and just fantastic oysters. It's the newest spot in town. It's the best place to get your oysters. 315 North Boulevard. And again, let me read off some of these to you. Barbecue Nola style. Brie and bacon, grilled oysters with bacon and creamy brie cheese sauce. The classic char grill, grilled oysters with butter, garlic, lemon juice, and fresh herbs. The corn mock shoe, baked oysters with a mixture of corn, bell peppers, fresh herbs, and bechamel sauce. Oysters Bienville, traditional baked oysters with shrimp, mushrooms, bell peppers, white wine, and breadcrumbs, and then the Oysters Rockefeller. They've got it all there. They've got great sandwiches. They've got a great bourbon selection, whiskey, massive craft beer selection. And that's your newest great hot spot for oysters. Get downtown to Baye's Oyster Bar. And I also need to talk about our friends over at Genesis of Lafayette. Look it up there on your screen. 3.99 APR for 60 months on a Genesis GV80. And the same goes for the GV70, 3.99 or 4.99 APR for 72 months. Genesis of Lafayette, the premier luxury dealership. They offer the finest cars and SUVs in the region, coupled with the best service anywhere. 6600 Johnston Street. You can shop online at genesisoflafayette.com or call them at 877-856-2961. Please, with them and all of our sponsors, tell them that TigerBait sent you in. If you're looking for a new luxury SUV, you certainly want to look at the Genesis and let Genesis of Lafayette earn your business. There's a reason why they sell more Genesis vehicles than any other Genesis dealer in the state of Louisiana. They're not going to not call you back because you're not interested in the matte colors that are on the lot, and because they don't want to lift a finger and make a dealer trade with someone in Oklahoma to get the one you want. They're going to go the extra mile for you.
Tiger Woods will tell you that's one of the reasons he's alive, the security and safety features that they have on that Genesis. And, of course, they continue to promote golf and Tiger Woods and all that stuff going on. But it's a big part of it, especially in our roads and highways that we have here. Be careful, folks, with this slosh coming in here. And, as always, you got everybody driving on the interstate in the rain going 80 and Texans. So, but definitely a big factor. I don't think that man's alive if he didn't have that Genesis that he was riding in.
Yep. Kason Acock, our buddy, says with a super chat, thank you. He says, Micro buddy, what's the holdup on Seaton Lane? Did everything short of throwing them a ticker tape parade? Do you feel it's Oregon at this point? No, I don't feel it's Oregon. But I think the coaching staff is like all of us the last 24 hours, making calls, trying to find out what's going on. I'm not going to say it's gone totally quiet, but I think the coaching staff feel like they've done everything they need to do. I think the bottom line here is that the kid wants to be developed. You've got the best coaches up on the offensive line at LSU right now. And so it's going to be in the next 15 minutes. It's going to be in the next 48 hours. I don't know what the decision is going to be. Certainly with Oregon be involved and, you know, I think LSU's obviously spending a lot of money. They've spent a lot of money. I don't think their offer is not lucrative. I'm sure it's fantastically lucrative. But, you know, does Oregon come in with a number that's bonkers crazy like Michigan did for Bryce Underwood? Do you do that for an offensive lineman? But
right, and the uncle is the agent, and anytime you have all that going on, it's just not that simple. Look, you can't fault LSU or Lane on what they did. They pulled out the red carpet, showed him all the things.
Stays an extra day, and then Kiffin gets on a plane.
If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If he's going to go play with Oregon, then there's nothing you can do about it. But we'll see. You just have to have patience.
Yeah. I think that
I think he was getting a pretty penny to go on these visits too.
He's the last one hanging out there. The coaches are hitting high schools right now. They're recruiting the class of 27 and 28 right now, and but this one's still hanging out there, and they want him badly, no doubt about it. Should we have gotten Lance Hurd at half the price? No.
Let me guess. That's from PFM.
No.
Oh, okay.
But
he hit me up with that. I was not a
Lance Hurd's got he's I don't think this offensive line coaching staff will put up with a guy like Lance Hurd. In fact, there was a whole lot of baloney with the offensive linemen that were left over from the BK era that they weren't putting up with their crap and looking at their file folders and meetings late for meetings, liking the wacky tobacco, as Saban calls it, and a lot more. They're not putting up with that. They want football players, and they want guys who are dedicated and are going to put in the work and be top-notch human beings along with it.
When you ask to get somewhere at 3 o'clock and you show up at 3:05, 3:10, that's not a good way to start off, as you alluded to. All those guys ended up leaving. I thought that Tyree Adams or a couple of guys would have stuck around. But, look, cleaning the house and one thing about it, Mike, this is going to be the challenge now to get the culture of your football team all in the palm of your hand as one team, one group of brothers to getting together. And he said this in the breakfast thing yesterday. You're getting people from all over the country. This is what he did at Ole Miss, though. He had a lot of people that wasn't from Mississippi. And
I'm amazed, though, by some of these kids. And I've been covering recruiting for 30 years. The number of kids that have uncles that are the decision makers. It's like, I mean, I don't think I was a bad seed, but I don't think my parents could have told me where to go to college.
Well, it's just so much different with the money, though, now.
I
know, but the kid can't handle his money. He's got to have somebody taking care of that for him. This uncle, whether or not.
I can tell you the way I was at 19, 20, 21. I'm thinking in my head, how much do these agents take? 10, 15?
I don't know what they're taking, but
I mean, I don't need you.
Yeah.
I'm keeping that 10, 15%.
Well,
is anybody representing themselves? Do you need them? I'd be making phone calls to Joe over at the University of Texas that's on my peer level and say, how much did you get? And I say, well, that's what I'm going to ask for, and I'm going to keep the 10% for myself.
Okay, well.
It might even be more than
that. Look, I will say this about Lance Hurd. He played the game right. He wussied out on LSU and didn't go to the bowl game, got in the portal, went to Tennessee. First year, he wasn't very good. Second year, he was pretty good. And then he went to Kentucky and he got a big old bag. And so he played the system right. But I don't think Lance brought the what they were looking for in an offensive lineman.
Yep.
The total package.
Someone says we're still having an echo. There's an echo function on this program that we have checked. And so I'm not sure why we're having that. But I'm going to speak more directly into the microphone. I think I've been getting a little too far away from it. Okay. Yeah. Hugh 7802. You go, buddy. 40 points up on Ole Miss. I think people are going to remember that one, buddy.
I'm not going to back down.
That might not be crazy.
I'm not going to back down for that.
What do you think this offense is going to average points wise?
37 to 40 points a game.
Okay.
Dude, they led the conference in rushing. All of a sudden, LSU's going to be able to run the football. Do you remember what you've been seeing on 2nd down and 9 up the gut for a yard? Do you remember that? I don't forget. And so you're going to see so much trickery. And here's the crazy thing. Even though they've led the conference and done such a great job rushing, they've only had a couple of offensive linemen who went to the pros. When you call plays that are so fast and then so space, Ole Miss averaged 75 plays a game during the regular season with Kiffin. It's a new ball game. LSU's going to have a hell of an offense. Put me down. They're going to average 37 to 40 points a game. I don't care who they play. Is that crazy?
I don't think so.
Okay, I don't either.
All right, everybody, see it on the screen, alumnihall.com. You can get all your Lane Train LSU gear. You see the Lane Train shirt, the Lane Train visor shirt. They've got it all for you at Alumni Hall. They've got LSU women's basketball, LSU men's basketball, baseball season, media days Friday. They've got all the LSU jerseys in stock, whatever color you like, the gray, the gold, the purple, the white, and especially for the kids, the youth jerseys are one of the hottest sellers. All the kids love the legit game style jersey that the LSU baseball players wear. They've got them all in stock right now at Alumni Hall. Use code TigerBait, all one word, and you're going to get 10% off anything you buy at the register or online at alumnihall.com/LSU. Beautiful store in Perkins Rowe, and you get free shipping on all orders over $99. They always have the LSU champion brand T-shirts, 3 or 4 tables of them up front right when you walk in the front door. You can get 2 of those for $38. You can mix and match those, men's, women's, and U sizes to get that deal. And they've got more online and they can fit in the store, so check out their drop ship tab. And they've got all the great polos from Peter Millar, all the really nice stuff that the high quality stuff that's not going to fall apart and it's going to look great for years. Go shop over Alumni Hall. And again, use code TigerBait. And I need to talk about Capital City Grill. You see it right there on the screen. Great brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2. And I'm due to get back over there for it. It's a great brunch at 100 Lafayette Street. You already know how great they are for lunch and dinner. Great sandwiches, burgers, seafood, pasta. Almost everything's priced at $30 or below for a great experience. And LSU baseball season, if you're in town for men's or women's basketball, dine at Capital City Grill, especially if you're staying downtown in one of the hotels. And again, try that carrot cake. It is the best in town. All right, let's get some more questions in here. Yeah, Trey Potan. Good evening, Mike and Buddy. We are all probably in the optimistic in the honeymoon stage. Go Tigers. No, look.
No, I think it's a great point. You're in a honeymoon stage until you lose that first game, but I think you got to understand.
I just don't want these fans are saying it's automatic they're going to the playoffs next year.
No,
and look, and by the way, I watch all my peers and compadres in the media in the shows they're doing. I mean, dude, they're playoffs, a lot of them right now, and I think you need to temper that a bit. If they get there, fine, but man, it's going to be tough.
Well, let me just interject this real quick. 2 years ago, Ole Miss pushed all their chips into the middle of the poker table. You were going crazy because they didn't bring in the D tackles. You were telling BK, what are you doing? Where's the beef? Get some of the – picked up a couple guys from Texas A&M, spent all that money on the defense, all that money on their people. Ohio State spent the money. Ole Miss spent the money. Ohio State won the Natty. Ole Miss got beat 3 times, once at home against Kentucky to LSU on the last play of the game, did not lead, were not behind the whole time. And then the final game, -3, didn't make the playoffs. This year, the year after, they make the playoffs. And so Trey may be intimating, it's going to take a year to get acclimated. Oh, by the way, there's only a handful.
Sal Rumpolo says playoffs, exclamation point.
Big Sal coming in here. But my point is that you just never know how fast you're going to get this team to gel. You just never know.
Now, is he doing it playoffs like that's what they're doing, or is he giving us a Jim Mora playoffs?
Playoffs.
Yeah.
I think that Big Sal's a big Saints fan, so it could be a little bit of both. But look, none of us know. Not Lane Kiffin. And if you go back to Saban, by the way, did you blow that up with what Kiffin said at the breakfast when Kiffin was asking Nick Saban about the LSU job? I know it's pissed off a lot of Alabama fans already, but he said, Lane, you've got to take that job. It's the best. You will regret it if you don't. He said this numerous occasions. He regrets leaving, but he says it's the best job in America. And that's when Kiffin said that kind of sealed it for him. But potentially it is, oh, by the way, I don't know if you heard this little caveat. He also mentioned, and there's a coach's wife who said it's the best job in the country if you win. So Kiffin knows all about the pressure. I got to ask you real quick.
That's something Miss Terry would say.
Exactly. That came from Miss Terry. But knowing what's happened here in the last 20 years, the Natties and the Heismans, knowing Tiger Stadium, the fan base, the atmosphere, the way it is on social media, the brand, does he give us, the media, because we're a conduit to those fans, does he give us a little bit more to give those fans? That is a question that we will find out in due time.
I think those discussions are being had. I think he knows. Look, this is my hunch. All right. Head coach at Florida Atlantic, head coach at Ole Miss. Preston goes to the Sugar Bowl a few weeks ago, and he's in the back of the room for the post game, and he shoots a picture of it. And I see like 6 or 7 media guys in front of the table for the post game for Ole Miss. And 2 of them I know are local. I think I saw Rabelais was there and one other guy. They have no media pressure there. They have no TV stations in Oxford. The TV stations that are closest is Memphis. Memphis doesn't send anybody down. All right. Here we got 18 websites like mine. We got 3 TV stations locally. Then the TV stations from New Orleans come in, from Lafayette, depending on what it is. Lake Charles might roll in. Monroe comes regularly. Tons of media here. If that was LSU in that Sugar Bowl, that room would have been full and overflowing, and we media people would be in the back elbowing each other and getting mad and wanting to fight because there wasn't enough room. That's how it is. We got 50 guys for every press conference. It was the same thing when LSU played Clemson. I laughed when they had a media day and they had like 3 guys around. What was the quarterback?
Big guy now.
Blonde hair.
Yeah.
God dang it. Help me out. Anyways, had 3 guys around his table. If that had been Joe Burrow, they would have had 40 guys and you wouldn't be able to see them. I think, so to get back on track, I think Michael Bonnet, Verge Osbury, and the folks at LSU say, look, this is a different animal. He's not going to do a coach's show. I can tell you that. We've already gotten word that that's not going to happen.
Oh, no coach's show?
Well, they haven't come out and said it, but I can tell you that's probably not happening because they're already saying there's no place.
Trevor Lawrence was
Trevor Lawrence. They're already saying that the place, there's no place big enough for a Lane Kiffin show. So I doubt that's going to happen. But I do think he's going to do more press. I do think he's going to do. That was a good sign that he did that breakfast yesterday. Is he going to be at the Kiwanis and the Rotary and all that kind of stuff? Probably so. I think he's going to be a different guy here, and they're already admitting that. I've heard some comments where they're saying they want to be more active with the media because it is a different market.
Mm-hmm.
And he said things publicly to that regard.
Yeah. Well, and I think you can do it in the right way. Look, we got an inordinate amount of time this year, as we know. I made mention of that fact, and I like going to practice. You go to all the baseball press conferences and the games and women's and all that, but I enjoy going to football practice, and we've been doing that for many, many years. And I just think when you start talking about these guys and we give comparisons and we tell these stories like Caleb Jackson, the story this was run the daylight, not darkness. Oh, by the way, he's going to play with Bill Belichick in North Carolina. But the point of it is that we need some access just to get acclimated to this team. But on the other hand, there are people out there saying, look, guys, in the media, we want a little bit, but don't tell too much and that's the real key. Have a relationship with the media on what you can say, what you can film, and just be careful about not exposing things that could hurt them on Saturday.
Yeah. Look,
and I think everybody in here is smart enough to understand
I remember that there were several times last year where Joe Sloan got really upset because we were there for 3 or 4 periods and some stuff that we posted in our practice video was stuff they didn't want out. Well, that's your fault. You know what 3 or 4 periods you're letting us in there. Don't do that. When you're doing jumping jacks and stretching, let us in for that and give us a few periods where they're just warming up and running down the field go routes and then boot us out.
Well, no, usually what they do is let us see individual drills, and then when they go to team, they boot us out.
Right, boot us out.
But we will see, and once again, the main thing that the fans want is they want them to win on Saturday.
They just want to get a little look.
They do want to get –
that's right. And if he didn't want us to have the kind of access to beat, that's fine. I get it. I'm not going to disrespect that or cry about it. But I think there's ways to give us access, and everybody wins.
It's an insatiable appetite. It's part of the LSU brand, and it's just part of LSU. And this is what differentiates, in my opinion, Mike, LSU from a lot of other programs is the interaction and that appetite. And as you know, the social media presence that the fan base has.
Yeah. By the way, you mentioned LSU baseball. Media Days Friday, and we'll be back with our Batter Up show at Kendall Rogers every week during the LSU baseball season. We'll crank that up here in the next couple of weeks, so be on the lookout for that. And we're going to try and lock down a definite day of the week that we run that, and that's typically anywhere from 15 to 25 minutes that me and Kendall talk about LSU baseball and what's going on in the SEC and nationally. So any update on Seaton? No, there's none unless something happened while we've been live. And we're just waiting. We're in a holding pattern.
Yeah, look, Dan Lanning did, in fact, go to Atlanta. Of course, in case you missed it, Lane Kiffin yesterday had his breakfast talk got in Pepper Rutland's jet or whatever and flew to Atlanta, met with the uncle who is his agent. When he came back and did not have the happy smile, you knew something got complicated. Lanning followed him up. This is a kid when Dante Moore, their quarterback, decided to tweet that he's coming back to Oregon and not going to the NFL. One of the first people to retweet back was Jordan Seaton. And so he covets it. I'm pretty much under the impression also, Mike, that, look, we talked about these kids a year or two ago going to Texas A&M, wherever, and get $5,000 for a visit. I'm hearing this big guy's getting a lot more than $5,000 to make these visits. Yep. I don't know if you've heard some numbers, but and so we'll see if he does, in fact, make that visit to Oregon. But everybody waiting on bated breath for that. LSU at 41. They lost 36, as you alluded to. The final two signees on that recruiting class, Jackson Williams, and who was the last guy?
Boy, now you make me look it up. I got it. 1 second. Amari Peterson, cornerback.
Okay, right. So 16 signees there, and look, it's total rebuild, revamp, reload. A lot of cautious optimism. Is that the best way to frame it going into football this year?
I think there's a lot of reason to be very, very excited. I think there's a lot of reason to be very excited about the work ethic and the hours they're putting in. Lane Kiffin does his hot yoga. He goes and gets a meal. He goes and hosts recruits. They're watching loads of film on all the high school prospects. All the coaches have been hitting the high schools. They're hosting high school recruits already, and more every weekend. They're going to have guys on campus. It's nonstop. It really is a sight to behold. And I can tell you, after a couple of weeks already of the strength and conditioning program, it's night and day for the players.
Yeah, you've heard that?
Yes.
Good news.
Yep.
Don't forget, I wouldn't be here without Demco, Dixie Electric member co-op. They do a fantastic job with all of you. Very communicative, very much on high integrity, levelized billing. And don't forget, when we do have that bad weather, whether it's a tsunami, whether it's a flood, whether it's a hurricane or tropical storm, go to the Demco Storm Watch and get all the details. Dixie Electric member co-op, great sponsors for me on this show and all of our shows. And, of course, Mike, I know you've got some great sponsors, and we just appreciate all of you. Look, we were a little rusty tonight from 2 weeks. We'll get back into it. Exciting times. I don't think you and I either could envision. And we don't know how good they – like you got a kid, Jordan Ross from Tennessee that was a 5-star who was an edge. Now you got Prince coming in. You got other people coming in. You got all these new coaches. And you've got some retention with Weeks and the defensive players and then the coaches. But, man.
And how much of this, though, when you say all that, how much of it is there is a little bit of similarity where we're saying, all right, Blake Baker doesn't have all those – he's got a lot of people coming back. And a lot more stability on that side of the ball. How much are we going to be saying as the preseason goes along that it's going to be what gets LSU through and maybe having a magical season with a lot of gravy is the defense carries the day for a while the offense with all those new faces take their time and come together?
Yeah, that's the $64 million question. Gabe Relaford coming back. He's going to be a great addition. I said and made a
new edge rushers.
Look, D tackle
Richard Anderson.
I was going to say Richard
how
Anderson,
much was
Deuce Geralds, Lamar Brown, Trenton Henderson, all those guys on the D line coming in. Got a bunch of D line.
And does Lamar Brown stay as a D lineman?
You like him on the offensive side?
I've always thought he was an offensive lineman.
Yeah. Well, he's coming in as the edge. But anyway,
and by the way, he's saying it's whatever they want him at.
What kind of sculptor are you? Lane Kiffin and that staff, you have the clay, you have the potential, and sculptures have to work. Sometimes it takes a while to know.
Lamar Brown can be all SEC at either spot.
Well,
either side of the ball.
How long is it going to take to where they're proud of the way they play football on Saturday night? I will tell you this. You're always going to have a potent offense with Lane Kiffin, just with his play call and utilization. Now, the two questions that I think we all have for Coach Kiffin going into the season. Why do you not like field goals? I know they're going to mention analytics, but he has a propensity to not take the field goal. You saw what they did in the playoffs. They had a 56.
I like going for it on fourth down.
Okay, and of course,
but not from your own 32.
Yeah, well, and then as we alluded to, all those four, you're going to go for it on a lot of more fourth downs.
I like that.
And so it's going to be a little riskier. And you Tiger fans have got to embrace the black hat, the villain. When you go to Florida and spend all those monies with the Gator people over there, they're going to be kicking stand up on your purple and gold beach towel. And you're going to look at them and say, yeah, wait till this fall. Because the anticipation, Mike, is just as good as the realization of it happening. And we're here for another year. And
Did you
couldn't
see
do it without you folks.
Kiffin running an old clip from Feinbaum today?
Yeah, I'm talking about Kirk Signetti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And saying
ears is constantly wrong.
Yeah, he's got more hot, cold takes than anybody. Real quick, need to talk about Stroube's. Look at that there, right there on your screen, that cowboy ribeye, great seafood dishes. It really is one of your premier seafood steakhouses here in Baton Rouge in South Louisiana. 107 3rd Street, downtown Baton Rouge. 5-star dining experience, USDA prime black Angus steaks, 100% certified Wagyu New York strip, Jai's pork chop, black truffle, lobster, pasta, redfish, duck Louisiana, steak Diana, a lot more. Book your reservation online tonight at Stroube's.com. Let them know TigerBait sent you in. And just absolutely great food, great desserts, all made in-house, all fresh ingredients. And just a beautiful restaurant downtown. Great for a date night, great for special occasions. And it really is priced very well at Stroube's. Let's see. Anything we need to get to before we get out of here?
One other little tidbit for you, ladies, Nurse Court, Oh Danny Girl, and all of those great Tiger fans. You got a good-looking football coach. Listen, they love that. I got to be honest with you. I've talked to more women after the fact, and they all say the same thing. You know, I didn't trust him from the first time I saw him. Lane Kiffin's been in the South. Lane Kiffin knows about LSU. He knows about the SEC, and he is going to fire up the ladies because he's damn good looking for a football.
By the way,
coach.
I've heard it from him.
You've already heard it from him?
Yeah. I'm not going to say who, but there's some women in my vicinity that didn't think Brian BK was all that, but they think Lane Kiffin is all that.
Yeah. So more reason to watch, girls, boys, ladies. Shout out to Fish and Mays watching and all of the people out there. We couldn't do it without you. Big Sal, everybody else. And congratulations to you, Preston.
Yeah.
Zach.
Brian hit the like
Lazar.
button. We're going to, I think if you hit the, we need 6 more. We hit 43,000 or whatever it is on YouTube. Our Facebook page is growing by leaps and bounds. Follow us on Facebook. Go to TigerBait and subscribe. We still have our ongoing live thread for transfer portal. We're dropping anything we get there on our message board. Breaking news, text alerts, newsletters, a lot of great analysis pieces on TigerBait.com. Myself, Preston, Brian Lazar, and others are dropping a lot of content on the website. We would love to have you as a subscriber to TigerBait.com. And thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week. A lot of baseball coverage will be posted here Friday afternoon. We're going to get Jay Johnson. Probably he goes always for about 45, 50 minutes. Players. We get to film some practice. And so we're going to have a lot for you on LSU baseball. And it's here already. And a lot of people are talking about Kim Mulkey's team. After starting off 0-2, look at the way they look now. That was an incredible win. I do have plans to do Inside LSU women's basketball. I wanted to start it earlier, but the transfer portal stuff just ate up so much of January. Be on the lookout. We might do a show this week, definitely next week. We're going to crank that back up, and we'll do a dedicated women's basketball show as well. And
8 o'clock tomorrow night now. Late start, 8 o'clock tomorrow night at Texas A&M. Kim Mulkey is 7-0 against A&M since she's been the LSU coach against the Lady Aggies. So
yeah,
it should be a double. I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, since I'm predicting LSU ladies win by 15 tomorrow.
That win at Oklahoma in front of that crowd and Oklahoma coming out hitting threes and hot the way they were. And for LSU to lay the wood to them in that environment, that was impressive. So now we're all counting down to Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah.
Saturday night, South Carolina. I don't know what ABC has planned or ESPN or what. I think it's ABC. Is that going to be a night game?
No, it's a night game. Yeah.
It's a night game.
Yeah,
I mean,
think so.
I think they're going to pull out all the stops. When is it? It's been 20 years plus since LSU's played a Saturday women's game. It's an oddball. They're doing this for a special deal. So
Carolina's real good too. So it's going to be a chore. You know, LSU everybody knows that's a tough team for them to beat, and we'll see if it's going to be special Valentine's night.
Well, you all always like to say I'm negative. I'm going to say it right now. LSU breaks through and beats South Carolina.
I like it. All
right.
We might have him up to 9-3 next week, folks.
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody.
All right. Good night, everybody. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the show. Subscribe. You know the drill. Good night.